far away in China, a very long time ago. It was the rule of the Emperor Wu. The emperor owned a beautiful castle that had a boundless garden that even the gardener doesn't know its end. There lived a little nightingale that sang most melodious songs, which was enjoyed by everyone but the king.
Emperor, Emperor, an important message. The Emperor of Japan would be visiting us tomorrow.
That would be pride. Provide him the best welcome that nobody could ever give.
As per the Emperor Wu's order, the Japanese emperor was treated so well during his visit. And when he was about to leave, he had come across the nightingale, and he was mesmerized by its songs. A few days later,
I order you to read the letter that we have received from the Emperor of Japan.
The days I spent in China was some of the best days of my life. I was honored by the respect you gave, and more than anything, the song of the nightingale from your garden took me to a different world.
A nightingale in my garden? Why haven't I heard of it yet?
the emperor ordered the soldiers to bring the nightingale to him.
Such a beautiful voice you have got, my little bird.
The emperor kept the nightingale in his palace and enjoyed its songs day and night. Both the nightingale and the emperor became close friends. One day,
Emperor, Emperor, I have a present from the Emperor of Japan.
the present was a beautiful toy of a nightingale that sang songs whenever one puts a key through it.
I like this toy so much. I order you to place it in my room.
As the king started listening to the toy, the nightingale flew away from the palace and never returned. And one day, even the toy stopped working.
Emperor Wu, I have checked with the toy makers all over the world, but no one could able to restore it.
The emperor began to realize his fault, that he shouldn't have left his friend alone over a toy. Days passed by and the emperor turned sick as he didn't eat anything.
Only the song of the nightingale that he loved could save him. Else we wouldn't have our king with us anymore,
Said the doctor when everyone was worried.
Ah, my friend, my friend.
Emperor went to meet the nightingale, and the nightingale came flying to him. Tears of joy rolled down his cheeks, and from there, the nightingale and the emperor remained together as friends ever after. Kids, what have you learned from the story? The emperor in the story suffers a lot on losing his real friend over a fake toy. So kids, always stay together with your best friends and never lose them at any cost, ever.
Preschool Video Dictionary. Keep your toddler's mind sharp and active. You can teach your toddlers visually about alphabet, numbers, animals, birds, fruits, vegetables, shapes, colors, months, days of the week, body parts, emotions, family and me, community helpers, sea animals, reptiles, insects, and much, much more. Teach them the basic words with eye-catching animations. Teaching them to spell and identify the words with these videos is very easy and interesting.
Was not in my time, 'twas not in yours, but it was in somebody's time. There was a beautiful kingdom, ruled by a king named Marcus. One day, King Marcus was in his room looking into the mirror at his reflection.
Ah, what a charming personality I have got! An attractive face and a majestic body. A perfect look for a king. Well, I should be sending my soldiers around the world to make sure that no king could match my charm,
Said the king to himself.
That is going to be a total arrogance and a waste of time. Let me teach him a lesson.
The fairy boy chanted the magic words and
oh no! Is this happening for real? I have got the ears of a donkey!
panicked the king.
Soldiers, ask the barber to walk in my room all alone.
The royal barber who came in
Oh no! That's scary! I am out of here!
and when he tried to run away, he was caught by the soldiers and was thrown into the dungeon as per the order of the king. Followed the royal barber. Many other barbers who tried to run away on seeing the king were thrown into the dungeon too. Finally, a barber named Brian walked in as per the king's call.
Majesty, what can I do for you?
Before we go ahead, promise me that you wouldn't utter a word about what you're about to see.
Over my life, Your Majesty. Huh? What? Is this real?
Yes, do not try to run away panicked, or you will be into the dungeon with the others.
No, I wouldn't. I stay.
Okay, now prepare me a wig that would hide my ears.
As per the king's order, Brian designed a gold wig and gave it to the king.
Have this 10,000 gold coins, and you shall not say this to anybody.
Please, don't ask me anything.
Said the poor Brian.
I know a secret about the king that I shouldn't be telling to anybody. But I find that hard.
Don't worry about that. I have an idea.
As per his wife's idea, Brian went to the forest, shouted the secret to a tree trunk.
The king has donkey ears.
And from then, Brian felt relieved. A few days later, a woodsman cut down the very tree to make a drum for the king's birthday. And on the king's birthday, when everyone was gathered at the palace, a drummer played the drum, which was made from the trunk, to which Brian shouted the secret. And
The king has donkey ears! The king has donkey ears! The king has donkey ears! The king has donkey ears!
the king panicked and rose. And the king ran away to the jungle and never came back. And as he realized that wisdom was greater than beauty, his donkey ears got back to normal. Only after a long time, his ministers found him in the forest and brought him back to his kingdom. Kids, what have you learned from the story? King Marcus was about to commit a mistake because of his lack of wisdom, and the little boy fairy taught him a lesson. So remember, wisdom is always greater than beauty.
Magicbox presents Preschool Video Dictionary. Keep your toddler's mind sharp and active with these interesting preschool video dictionary videos. These videos will give your child a good vocabulary before facing the world and entering the educational stage in their life. You can teach your toddlers visually about alphabet, numbers, animals, birds, fruits, vegetables, shapes, colors, months, days of the week, body parts, emotions, family and me, community helpers, sea animals, reptiles, insects, and much, much more. So, share these interesting and informative videos with your little ones and teach them the basic words with eye-catching animations. Teaching them to spell and identify the words with these videos is very easy and interesting. Download now Preschool Video Dictionary from magicbox.co.in. Link in description.
Long, long ago, before our grandfathers and great-grandfathers' time, there lived a great king who ruled Andhra. The king was so kind and generous to everyone, and the king's rule was a golden age in the history. But the king never believed in the existence of God. One day, two men walked in the king's court.
Accept our humble greetings, Your Highness.
Greetings, greetings. Who are you?
I am Acharya, and he's my brother Athreya.
So, what can I do for you, my people? The Highness has to pardon us, for we aren't the natives.
We are traders of the neighboring country, and we have lost everything on a single trade.
We have heard about your generosity.
And we believe you could be our savior.
Do not utter another word. Soldiers, offer the loving people 10,000 gold coins each.
So did the soldiers.
The king provides when nobody does.
The God provides when nobody does. The God provides when nobody does. The God provides when nobody does.
The king kept hearing Athreya even after he left and became angry. The king decided to test Athreya's belief.
Soldiers, place a bag of gold in the abandoned road behind the castle. Ask those men to meet me at the end of the road. Acharya should walk first so that he can find the gold before Athreya. Let Athreya understand that it is my order that provides, not the god."
So did the soldiers.
What a calm road! I can walk even with my eyes closed.
Acharya walked with his eyes closed and crossed the bag of gold. But Athreya, who walked behind, found the gold bag. The king was so surprised that it happened.
No, this shouldn't have happened. That should be his luck. Let me test again for one last time.
King offered Acharya a pumpkin filled with gems and asked him to take it home. The next day,
Acharya, did you find anything in that pumpkin that I gave?
Your Highness, I sold that pumpkin to a vegetable vendor on the way home for a few coppers.
But, Your Highness, I bought a pumpkin yesterday from a vegetable vendor. And the pumpkin was full of precious gems. The god provided me, not once, but twice.
at that time, the king lost his pride and understood the existence of God.
Yes, the god provides.
Kids, what have you learned from the story? The king in the story, though he was so kind and generous, he failed to understand the existence of God. And by the end, he realizes that nothing happens because of him, but God.
Preschool Video Dictionary. Keep your toddler's mind sharp and active. You can teach your toddlers visually about alphabet, numbers, animals, birds, fruits, vegetables, shapes, colors, months, days of the week, body parts, emotions, family and me, community helpers, sea animals, reptiles, insects, and much, much more. Teach them the basic words with eye-catching animations. Teaching them to spell and identify the words with these videos is very easy and interesting.
Far, far away, beyond all sorts of countries, seas and rivers, there stood a splendid realm ruled by a generous king. There lived a poor peasant in a small hut with his impolite wife.
You are such a curse! Look at this house that we live in!
Oh dear, I'm trying hard as much as I can.
Nonsense! If only I was the queen!
The king and the queen, who passed by that way, listened to the conversation of the peasant.
My love, the peasant's wife do not realize that she is responsible for their poverty.
How can you tell that, honey?
A woman of a house is responsible for the management of money. They both should be involved in the money management indeed.
I wish my people live in peace.
My lord, I have an idea at your willingness.
The king called the peasant and his wife to the palace.
Peasant, the queen have come up with an idea. She believes if she lives in your house for 3 months, she can do a better management and eliminate your poverty.
Your Highness, but my hut is so small for the queen to live.
Don't worry, my dear brother. I can easily get used to it.
All right, Your Majesty, your wish is my command.
Meanwhile, your wife can live in the palace enjoying all the richness of a queen.
The peasant's wife rejoiced in happiness. Later,
What a miserable sight. My first work would be to clean it up.
Is this my house? I cannot believe my eyes.
Brother, please listen to what I say. You have to go out every day to make money, and it is all right if you fail to do it on some days. But make sure you at least bring a stick back home.
Sure, Queen, your wish is my command.
the queen started to save every day from the peasant's earning and started buying new household things. Meanwhile, in the palace, Queen's jewelry were all scattered and seemed untidy. The king became very much worried and waited for the queen's return. And by the end of 3 months, the peasant house was all new, and they were able to buy a new land and a few cattle as well.
Wow! I couldn't believe this is my house.
Thank you so much, Queen.
Said the peasant.
Look, lady, even for a king of a country who has a lot of advisors, needs a responsible wife to lead a happy living. So, prosperity depends on how you do the management together.
The peasant's wife realized her mistake and looked down in shame. Kids, what have you learned from the story? The impoliteness and the irresponsibility of the peasant's wife were the reasons for their poverty. So kids, remember to hold some responsibility in whatever you do.
Do you wish to see load of stories here? Then please subscribe this channel. Along with your friends and family, enjoy all the videos of Magicbox. Magicbox English, a place to learn lot of good things with happiness. Don't forget to subscribe.